just like, that's what I'm talking about. Because when I was that age, I wasn't really doing nothing but recording.
Right.
I was a studio rapper.
Right.
No shows, no nothing.
Right.
Blaze and my cousin Poots, they start putting me on shows. So shout out to them. Because if it wasn't for them, I wasn't out there like that. I
Yeah.
was just going around, hey, here it is.
Right.
Aux
Right.
cording it up.
Yeah.
Everybody
Right.
knew I rap since like high school and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but I wasn't out there like that. So once I started getting out there and I seen like the love I was getting and the love I want to receive,
Yeah.
it's just like, man, for the next guy too, he might be under me, might be one of my peers,
Yeah.
whatever. If I see his stuff, I'm gonna just share it.
Reciprocate.
That's the least,
Yeah.
even if I ain't gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I might try to watch it and be like, this ain't for me, but still
Yeah,
share
share,
it. That's
right.
it. That's all you gotta do.
And I think as you were talking, it's a couple of different things that came to mind. I think, and this is less of a question and more of just like a thought that I had as you were speaking and from speaking with other people as well. A lot of times when, within the culture here, specifically in Rockford, and I'm not somewhere else, so I can't really say it's like this here, or there. But I know within the culture in Rockford, a lot of times, and I don't know how much maybe you watch wrestling growing up or how much you know about wrestling. Okay, you're okay.
All day.
So a lot of times when in the hip hop community, I wouldn't even say like a lot of times, this is sort of the mind state that has existed within the hip hop community here in the time that I've grown up and been within it, is people perceive it like we in a Royal Rumble match, and so nobody is really too much trying to keep anybody in the ring. You trying to get everybody out, as many people out the ring as possible. And maybe if one of your partners or one of your somebody in your clique is it finally make it into the match where you at, like maybe you would try to keep them in the ring too. Bit. Yeah, but even then, your number one thing is you staying in the ring and getting other people out the ring. And I think one of the pitfalls of that is that if we viewed it more like a tag match, or we viewed it more like a clique match where you got, NWO versus the Nation of Domination versus, the Generation X, and you maybe try to get like 7, 8 people and keep adding people to the clique, and y'all in the fight, and y'all all view just if one person gets the pin, the whole clique wins, as opposed to viewing it like you have to be the last one in the ring. You get to a place of being able to have having a more likely chance of winning the match. But again, with hip hop, it's hard to sort of have those things and especially when you haven't seen somebody win a match yet. When you haven't had somebody go over the top yet, when you haven't had somebody that has championed something yet, and when everybody is still just in such a desire to be the first, as opposed to just even making it in general. It is still something there to be, the first person that made it, or the first person that did this, or the first person that did that. And we have had so many different times where, even locally, where like you could see like, this person is starting to gain some traction.
I ain't saying nobody ain't never really made it.
But it's been traction. You can see like this is the trajectory where it's like, in different generations have had something different. And again, one of the things that's also been connected to it is some of the people who have like been at the precipice of those things have been in the streets, and so like it's not even just the pitfalls of like hip hop in the industry that gets them, some of the pitfalls that come in the streets get them as well, and I think that one of the things that happens over that time, and again, this is a conversation that I've had, building on conversations I've had with other people, is when you begin to let go of being the individual and being the person who's at the end of the Royal Rumble match and the person who's the first, and you do start to view it as like, okay, it's this ecosystem, it's a collective thing, it's a group thing, and you start to figure out, okay, maybe I'm not gonna be the one who make it in my 20s. What can I do in my 30s to help somebody wwho in their 20s be able to be the person who make it, and understand that if they make it and we built the right ecosystem, I'll get, the back pay from some of these things, and I'll get the residuals from some of these things. And as opposed to continuing to only try to be, just the artist. And that's one of the things that really led me to be trying to get more involved in creating content around the culture, getting more involved with finding different avenues to interject myself in the culture, is knowing like, okay, what are some of the things, what's some of the things when I was trying to be bigger as an artist when I was in my 20s and younger, that would have been able to help me get to a wider audience, or would it not even just get to a wider audience, but would it help me to stay motivated and to stay inspired to do these things? And I think that, something like this, just having conversations with other artists, hearing other artists' perspectives, having a medium where you can find Rockford music, you can find 815 hip hop music, you know, and you can go there. Maybe you find a video director that you didn't know about before. You find a producer you didn't know about before. You find an artist you didn't know about before. Yeah, and that network sort of gets built out. And I think that is very important to have the different people, you know, playing those different roles. You know, you didn't make it as a rapper in your 20s, but one of the things you learned when you was trying to fail was how to put events together. Okay, you know, help organize events. You know, maybe you just do like two songs or something like that, and then help, you know, some other artists start, you know, doing performing. You know, like, and break down that door. You know, like break down the door of the studio, break down the door of the producers. And as we break down each one of these doors and build this ecosystem out and build this culture out where we do collectively view, if one of us make it, we all make it. You know, that's what's gonna get you, you know, to the next thing.